Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy Brett, and I am here. This is the second episode of I'm Just Gonna Send It pod. Obviously, the name is still in the works. I was thinking of maybe making it the In Progress podcast or Name Pending podcast. I don't know, a little meta, but also kind of overdone. But still a potential name for the pod. Today, I've got some updates. A lot of updates. Maybe the first and biggest one is what you're seeing right now. The microphone. I have a microphone in the studio, my room, but it is a beautiful piece of equipment. It's hooked up, has a little, I don't even know what you call this thing that's holding it to be right in front of my face, but I kind of chose it because of that, because I thought that looked cool. And it also had really good reviews. Just picked the top reviewed one on Amazon, and it was only around $50, so not a bad deal if you're looking to get into podcasts as well. Or honestly, if you just want to look cool on a Zoom call, kind of a move. But the first thing I want to talk about today is something that has been very interesting, is how much feedback I got back. I will concede a lot of it was from family, but even the family feedback was all very constructive and helpful. Had people telling me about equipment, a lot of equipment issues, whether it's the camera, which I'm using my phone today, which will hopefully help with that issue, or it was the sound quality, which this bad boy is going to help with. I'm still using the bad light, but on Monday I got this sick ring light that's going to come in. It will be helpful with TikToks as well if I want to continue making those. But on top of that, just feedback about how I'm talking. My brother sent me a long text about just like how to keep it authentically me. He thought that maybe I was speaking too quickly. But I also got other feedback saying that people enjoyed the candidness of my last episode. I will, of course, be trying to be a little more professional and not professional, but more organized with my episodes going forward, as the first one was a little, I'm not gonna lie, I just threw that one together because I really just wanted to get it out. And honestly, sometimes I feel like that's what you gotta do. You just gotta get it out there and give it a shot. Definitely something I've been noticing, LinkedIn, but we'll get to that later on in the podcast. Like the last one, this is gonna be a quick one, starting with something I really want to talk about this week, social reputation, and then going forward, by the end I'm gonna give you a few updates on my status on some things. So first things first, I want to talk about social reputation, social or online reputation, whatever you want to call it. My terminology might be wrong there, honestly, but I know that's a thing that's being thrown around in Web3 a lot. Basically, I've seen a lot actually lately about NFT and Web3 fashion, and not only fashion, but also how it relates to NFTs. How fashion is an analogy for NFTs. And I want to give you that I'm probably going to ruin this, but I'll give it a shot. And then I want to give you my own analogy that I came up with that I think is kind of a cool analogy. So basically the way the argument goes is in fashion. Why do we consume fashion? Why do we buy brand names? Why do we buy whatever it is? There's so many reasons, whether it's convenience, whether it's looks, whatever it is. But the reason that people buy fashion, let's just make it a certain brand. Let's say Nike. The reason people buy Nike, it's not that their shoe, for the most part, is any better than a lot of other shoes. It's because of the brand name. It's because you wanted the association with the brand name. Whether it's because you like sports, because you like the way it looks, because you want to show people that you buy a brand name for monetary reasons, whatever it is, you want that name on there. And the reason you're doing this is to communicate to others, to communicate some sort of something about you. If you buy, let's say, a U2 concert shirt, which I actually have, I know very specific. I've never been to a U2 concert, but I think my cousin Sai hand-me-downed it to me at some point. Much too small for me at this point. But if you say you have a U2 concert shirt, the reason you buy that is primarily because you probably like U2. And why do you want to have that shirt? Well, I would assume because you'd want to share that with other people. You want to show other people, hey, I like U2. Or maybe it could be, I guess, a memory from the U2 concert as well. Regardless, it's something that you can show outwardly, um, that you own and show to others by communicating to them something about you, about your likes, about what you've done, whatever it is, it's all a form of communication. Um, so, in this way, uh, NFTs are a very similar thing. Quite often, you find that people are communicating these fashion choices online. They're showing people who they are through what they're wearing in an Instagram post or a Snapchat post. So, an NFT similarly could be maybe you buy it at a U2 concert, or maybe it's your ticket at a U2 concert. Now, with an NFT, you own that actual thing, and you can show how much you appreciate something or whatever by showing that stub. If for instance, if I don't go to a U2 concert, I guess I could with our with screenshotters is you could just screenshot it and show it. Well, with the NFT, you're actually showing that you actually bought this ticket. So in a way, it's a little more telling of who you are and what you like. So if I go on Tinder and I say that I'm a huge U2 fan, but in reality, I've never listened to a single minute of their music, well, then I'm a liar, and that's going to come out eventually. But if it's an NFT and I actually have the receipt, the actual ticket showing that I went there, then you know it's real because I actually spent the money to go to this concert, and I actually care about you too, which in a way holds value. Um, so basically, the thing that I was thinking about, I don't know if I explained that well enough. I heard on Andrew Schultz's podcast, Gary Vee was on there, and he talked about it very well, very clear cut, and also just a great podcast because Andrew Schultz is awesome. If you listen to the new Colin Samir episode on him, it is very good. Well, it's not new; it's an old. Anyways, I'm getting too deep into this. But what the analogy I wanted to bring up is on with creators and artists how they can use NFTs. And the specific analogy of my sister wanting a Seek Discomfort, Yes Theory sweatshirt. So they sell their apparel just like many YouTube creators. And Yes Theory sells their apparel. It's called Seek Discomfort. And all it says on there is Seek Discomfort. It normally looks pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. Definitely a good looking piece of merch. But the reason she wants it, and the reason that I would love one, is not only because they're awesome, but also because it shows who you are a fan of. It shows what you support. She walks around with that sweatshirt on, and then everyone that sees it is going to say, and that knows who Yes Theory is going to know that she likes it. And quite often, because of the community that Yes Theory has built, they will say something. If I see someone with a Seek Discomfort outfit on, I almost always say something because it is just niche enough that if you see someone with it, and also it represents almost like a value system, spontaneity, seeking discomfort, which is the whole brand name. And so for me to see someone wearing that, it's my first intuition is that they're probably someone that I want to know, that I want to hang out with, that I want to talk to. So wearing that is like a social signaling, social reputation, online reputation, blah, 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 exactly what I'm getting into, showing that you like them. So in a similar way, I think it is such a great opportunity for creators to build NFT projects in a way that is showing that you like or appreciate them. If in 10 years I can have my NFTs connected to my Tinder account, and I don't use Tinder, but I just know that this is a way that a good example of people looking at your account to see what you're about directly. That's directly what you do on Tinder, and making a decision based on what's on your account. That's why it's a good analogy. So if in 10 years on your Tinder account, you can go and put or connect your NFT wallet and just show all your NFTs. Maybe it's just your social NFTs, whatever it is. Then people are able to see who you are based on what you've bought, what concerts you've been to, what NFTs for a creator you're a part of. Maybe the NFT just like has no value. Maybe all it is just an NFT showing you're a fan, or maybe it's an NFT showing you're one of the first 1,000 fans of someone, first 1,000 followers on YouTube, subscribers. Then people are going to be like, whoa, this guy really likes these people and he's been around for a long time. That's cool because I like those people. Wow, I want to date him. That is the kind of online signaling that you can do with NFTs. And like I said, if we're just talking a copy and paste, put a JPEG somewhere, you can put anything you want out with that. With an NFT, it actually takes that proof, that validation, and if you're the first 1,000 subscriber, then you actually have to do that work, that actual consuming of the stuff in order to get that. So that's just an interesting analogy I've been thinking a lot about lately. And I want to implement something like that into this podcast, my online presence, whatever it is, and build that. And I have a lot more to say about that topic, but for now, we'll cut it there. As I'm already up at 10 minutes, I want to get through these other things real quick for you so I don't hold you too long. The next thing I want to talk about is just a quick LinkedIn update. I'm still posting once a day. I'm finding that people engage much more with stories when I tell them stories about my life, things I've done. And I think this makes sense. It's telling a story, something that I have experience with. Everything I write about is stuff that I actually think a lot about and I actually have experience with. But when I actually display that experience, I think that connects with people a little more. I would love to actually talk to more people about what they think about my posts and get feedback on that. So if you've been watching and would like to give me feedback, that'd be great. In addition, I'm also on LinkedIn. I've been trying to reach out to a bunch of people. There's a large network of people on LinkedIn who are posting daily and have great insights. I saw a post the other day. My friend Reynolds, I will continue to talk about, and I would love to have on the pod. He actually sent me this person who posted for 2 years daily, and she said it just was speaking to how important it was to her for thinking through ideas and actually growing, as she has to do a lot of thinking and writing those actual posts. So I thought that was cool, and I'm going to keep that going for sure. And the next thing I want to talk about is TikTok. I've taken a brief hiatus. I went and visited my girlfriend last week and just haven't stayed up to date. But I want to get back into it, although I was listening to some things on Colin Samir's new episode with Mr. Beast's manager. That was interesting, talking about how his concerns about TikTok creators and their ability to actually create community. But I think it's a great way to at least distribute and get your face out there. So I'm going to continue to do it. I'm just kind of, just like with LinkedIn, I'm going to work on trying to figure out what actually works for me and what I enjoy doing. And then finally, I want to just say thank you for all the feedback. And if you have more feedback, if you have anything else you'd like to say to me, I'd love to hear it. If you like the mic, let me know. # like the mic. Just hit me up wherever it is. I love hearing from you guys, and I'm always down to talk, even if it takes me a second to reply. That's obvious. I know I have no followers, but still, I need to work on my communication skills. And finally, go see Marcel the Shell. It is so good and so underrated, and I don't know why people are not flocking to this movie. I brought my roommates to see it, and they loved it. I was scared going to this movie because it's an A24 movie. Could be very commercially accessible, could be very indie weird. So I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to get. And oh my gosh, it is so funny. It is so clever. It's like a SpongeBob-esque clever, where it's like goofy, but you're like, wow, that's really clever actually. That's really smart. That was a smart joke, but they just like hid that a little bit. And that's the whole thing. And it's just the storyline is actually incredible, and it comes from a YouTube video series, which is awesome. But yeah, highly recommend you do that. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast, episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. You know what? I'm just going to send it. Yeah. Okay.